Florence is a 25-year-old girl who landed herself in a leadership position in her job because of her passion for her work and her ability to empower and inspire others who she worked with. Florence works in a small online marketing company with about 40 employees. She didn't start out in her job as a leader or a manager, and she wasn't consciously intending to become one, but she started to notice over time that her coworkers started coming to her with their questions or problems or when they needed help, or oftentimes just because they felt comfortable talking with her. Her boss started to notice that people were naturally tending to communicate well with her and even going to her for help before checking with their direct superiors, because she seemed to be good at coming up with good out-of-the-box solutions for people's problems. And she also had a great sense of humor that kept people inspired and happy and in good spirits, even when work was highly stressful at times. This type of charismatic leadership, without any official leadership position, caught the eye of the company owner, and she was promoted to a managerial position within a few months of starting her job. She has been in the leadership role for about 2 years now. When I asked her what the most challenging part of being a leader was, she said that it can feel overwhelming sometimes to feel responsible for the success of the group as a whole and not just for herself. She said that it can be also challenging to meet the needs of each individual person in the group, in the group of followers that she's in charge of or that she leads. But she also mentioned that those same challenges are the things that make her job most fulfilling and inspiring for her at the end of the day. Florence identified most with a democratic leadership style, but she did say that she probably falls somewhere between the authoritarian and democratic styles of leadership most of the time. She tends to lean more toward the side of micromanaging rather than leaving things to be done on their own, but she does make an effort to not appear like she's micromanaging or looking over her followers' shoulders so that they don't feel like, it's important to her that her followers don't feel like she doesn't trust them. She wants there to be a really high level of trust. She said that that's one thing that's extremely important to her in her leadership. She also said that the personality trait that she has, that she feels has been her biggest asset or strength in helping her in her leadership role, is that she's very empathetic and she has a genuine interest in the people that she works with. This helps her to be personable with those that she works with, and it helps her to create a fun and enjoyable environment at her work. She said that she notices people tend to enjoy talking with her, whether it's about work or other topics, because she incorporates humor, she shows genuine interest, and she really makes an effort to not act like she's above anyone else, even if they are her leaders or people that are under her jurisdiction. Even though her sense of humor and friendliness has proven quite useful to her and has been a strength, she also mentioned that it's something that she's learned she has to keep in check and be careful about adapting to each individual that she works with, as not everyone's going to share the same sense of humor as her or see things in the same way. She told me about one time when that was the time that she felt she failed most as a leader, is when she jokingly said something to another employee about something that they did wrong. But she did it in a way that was very intense, but it was as a joke. So she said to this girl, she said, "You are in error." But she meant that as a joke. She says it like she did make a mistake, but she says it so intensely that she meant it, to be kind of funny and to bring some humor into the situation. However, this girl was new. She hadn't really worked with Flo for a long time. So she said that the girl got quite offended and she started to cry. And Flo said she felt really bad about it at the time, and she really took it hard that she had made this girl cry. But she realized that, she learned a lot from that experience. She learned a lot from trial and error, and she realized that there are times when it is good to joke around and bring humor into the situation, and other times when it's not the best idea and when she needs to be more sensitive to who she was talking to or who she was working with. When I asked Flo about what her best advice would be for a new leader, she said that it would be to get to know the people that you work with, especially if they're your followers, and really get to know them to the best of your ability. She said it's so important to learn what inspires them, what motivates them, and also what bothers them, what makes them tick, and really just to have fun with them as much as possible. Try to keep an open line of communication too, she said, is extremely important. it's so important that your followers feel that they can feel comfortable talking with you about whatever issues arise, whether they be work related or even personal issues, that they feel they have that open line of communication. She said that having regular and quality communication with her followers really is what gives her the best results in her managerial responsibilities and makes the responsibility of being manager a lot easier to handle.